Welcome, friends, to the TeleWellness Hub podcast, where we are going to dive into the latest trends, challenges, and innovations in mental health and wellness. I'm Marta Hamilton, licensed professional counselor based in Texas, and today we are talking about a major shift in the industry that I think is important to talk about. I've taken a break from recording just because I've been trying to educate myself on this topic. I have been concerned, I've been excited about it when thinking about TeleWellness Hub and how we can utilize this for the better of humanity. But the topic is AI-powered mental health support. This is causing a big shift in our industry, in many industries, and I think it's important to talk about AI in terms of mental health. So AI-driven chatbots are personalized support systems that are gaining popularity. I've been spending the week doing a lot of research on this topic, and I've been really considering, what does this mean, these AI-driven chatbots? What do they mean in terms of real providers, real clients, and the future of mental health care? While AI offers accessibility and efficiency, I've used all types of AI support systems, even integrated within this podcast platform through Buzzsprout. Now AI can look for transcriptions, for summaries of podcasts. AI is everywhere, and it can make things a lot easier. I think it's important to also look at the risks. The technology is evolving so quickly and it makes things so efficient and easy. It can be easy to overlook some of the risks. And for me, as a licensed professional counselor who's been in this industry, fully licensed since 2011, and has worked also as a supervisor, an LPC supervisor certification, and have supervised interns while they become independently practicing providers, I can't help but really think about how important it is that we as professionals working in this space really sit down and take a look at what AI really is and what it means for the future of our clients, those individuals seeking care. AI isn't the solution to every mental health challenge, and I want to encourage all of you, both providers and clients, to really think critically about the role of AI in mental health and why real human-driven care is still irreplaceable, particularly with something as important as our mental health. Let's get started. I have a lot of notes, so today you'll see me reading a lot. So what is AI-powered mental health support? AI in mental health care is growing at an unprecedented rate. So platforms like Wobot, Wiza, I think I'm saying this correctly, and Replica use artificial intelligence to simulate therapeutic conversations. Some AI systems analyze user data and suggest coping strategies, and others even attempt to predict a mental health crisis. And the great thing is these tools are available 24/7, making mental health support more accessible than ever before. I myself know that feeling of wishing I could talk to a therapist in that moment at 1 a.m. when I was a single mom, and wondering when it's the day before my actual therapy appointment, feeling like, okay, well, what am I going to talk about? So I think a lot of people have had that experience where the idea of an on-demand therapeutic support system is incredible. So that's one of the great things about AI, right? When it comes to AI in this space. Some facts. A 2023 study published in The Lancet Digital Health found that AI chatbots reduced symptoms of depression and anxiety in 30% of users after just 4 weeks. I did not do a deep dive into the power of this research. So this is, again, big disclaimer to really critically think about all this. Statistics is everything. And just because something is published in research doesn't necessarily mean that it's can be generalized to all populations. You really have to look at the individual variables. But I thought that was an interesting thing when I looked at the abstract. Additionally, according to the World Economic Forum, AI-driven mental health apps saw a 500% increase in usage between 2020 and 2024. So the demand is there without a doubt. And at first glance, this sounds promising, right? Like, who wouldn't want affordable, instant, around the clock support? Like, I myself would be like, yes, sign me up. But as we dig deeper, the reality is a lot more complicated. So I don't want this to be, of course, I'm biased. I'm a mental health professional. I see the value in my human therapist. But I want to empower people. So if you are going to be using an AI mental health platform, I want to share what clients should consider before using AI mental health platforms. So if you're someone seeking mental health support, AI-driven tools might seem like an easy, low-cost option and on demand. But here are some things I would encourage everyone to really consider before using them. Number one, AI is not a replacement for professional therapy. So while AI can offer general coping strategies, it cannot diagnose, it cannot personalize, and it can't adapt to specific emotion and mental health needs the way a human provider can, right? Same thing goes with a dentist or a medical provider. Because my husband unfortunately had to go to the emergency room and had a bunch of lab work done. And there are AI apps that can scan and read lab work. There's amazing technology going on in the medical field, which mental health is part of, right? We are a clinical field. And it still cannot replace the human eyes of someone taking the whole picture in and making decisions and collaborating with the patient. So that's something really important to think about, that it cannot do those things the way a human provider can. A fact, a study from the JAMA Psychiatry, some call it the JAMA, but psychiatry, found that 68% of users felt AI chatbots provided mechanical or generic responses to their issues, making them feel unheard. So you can Google that, 2024, JAMA Psychiatry, look for AI, and you can dive deep into that research. Number one, AI is not replacement for professional therapy. Number two, AI can give inaccurate or even harmful advice. I have used ChatGPT a ton, but I know that it's given me like false information, right? And they have a disclaimer, like you need to double check things on your own. And I think it's important, especially when it comes to mental health, that you are aware that the advice or recommendations, because a human therapist doesn't necessarily give advice, but gives insight or recommendations, is the fact that AI can give inaccurate or even harmful advice. So AI chatbots are really only as good as the data that they are trained on. And I am learning so much while I'm building TeleWellness Hub about programming, the language programming that is involved in AI. Thanks to the brilliant product and technology officer at TeleWellness Hub, I've been really inspired to dive deep into AI and learn about this industry, because it's in every field. And so it's been really interesting to see how AI is trained. It's even like positive reinforcement, right? Like how you would give a treat to a dog. It's a similar thing. So AI chatbots are actually only as good as the data they are trained on. And they can misinterpret a user, potential client's input, and provide responses that are misleading or even worse, inappropriate. So there's an example. In 2023, a chatbot was designed for mental health support, and it actually suggested harmful coping mechanisms to users. I won't say the platform, but it led to major public concern and public shutdowns. So when you hear this, I mean, it's the benefits of AI are there, but when it just takes that one life, every life is important. that one life that can have receive inappropriate, damaging insight, and it's not worth it. Okay, number 3, privacy concerns and data security risks. Many AI mental health platforms collect sensitive user data. I cannot emphasize this enough. Big tech companies, they're wonderful in their mission, but many times are not founded by mental health providers, and ultimately becomes a business of collecting and selling data. So when you have sensitive user data, these clients, many AI mental health platforms are collecting these. And so without strict regulations, and sometimes without knowing, this has happened on many major mental health platforms, actually. Big tech. I'm talking like, I know I'm representing TeleWellness Hub. We are mom and pop shop, okay? I'm talking big, like millions, billions platforms. Your private conversations could be at risk of being recorded, of being used for marketing, of being used for research, and even worse, as has happened, being sold to third-party companies. And I, as a mental health provider, am one that believes that my clients their sensitive information is certainly not to be sold. Their sensitive information is protected by HIPAA. It is my duty through my license, through my years of education and licensure and continuing education hours that I pay for and invest in to protect, to do everything in my power to protect my clients and their information. So to me, this is one of the biggest concerns for me. And a New York Times report in 2024 revealed that some mental health apps were selling their user data anonymously to third-party companies, raising serious ethical concerns. I don't necessarily want to throw any companies under the bus, but you can take a look. New York Times, 2024, mental health apps selling data, just so that you're informed and you're aware. Another concern in terms of what clients should consider before using AI mental health platforms is the risk of self-diagnosis and over-reliance on AI. So some users may start to rely solely on AI for their mental health needs instead of seeking professional help when they truly need it. And AI doesn't replace the accountability and therapeutic relationship that comes from working with a licensed professional who understands you as a whole person. There is nothing like that therapeutic relationship. Someone that you know understands your story, your values, your challenges, is there to cheer you on, to help you reflect, to consider alternatives. We deeply care about our clients. Deeply. Human care. And I know that some people have had some hurt done by therapy. I've heard some of that. I understand that there's challenges in that, but there are so many amazing providers out there that really do everything, dedicate their lives to their clients' well-beings, and that's their livelihood. That's everything they've worked so hard for. So something to think about when it comes to, it's important if you don't find the right therapist, because it's happened to me. I didn't feel like it was the right fit. And I knew that I deserved to find the right fit. And I kept searching until I found the right fit. You deserve to find the right fit. And side note, with this revamp of TeleWellness Hub, my goal is to make it even easier at first glance to know if that provider is the right fit. So more to come on that at a separate time. But so 4 things that clients should consider before using an AI mental health platform. AI is not a replacement for professional therapy. AI can give inaccurate or even harmful advice. Privacy concerns and data security risks abound, and the risk of self diagnosis and over reliance on AI is there. So take all that and just consider that, right? Again, this is meant to empower and to have empower clients and providers, and for you to just take those things into consideration for critical thinking of, is an AI powered platform the best for me? And maybe it is, but just having those things in mind when doing so is important. Now, for mental health professionals, AI also greatly impacts us, and it presents both opportunities and significant concerns. I'm going to talk about 3 major ones: job displacement fears, ethical dilemmas in AI assisted care, and the need for a community driven response. These are all things that I'm seeing in my communities. These are things that I feel myself. And I think that if we can empower ourselves by understanding AI more and really being able to critically think about it, it will help us in the long run. So, when it comes to AI replacing us, essentially, AI is often marketed as a cost effective alternative to therapy. And I understand that this can make it even harder for providers to compete with free or low cost AI solutions. A little research fact is a survey from the American Psychological Association, the APA, go APA, in 2024 found that 42% of mental health professionals felt threatened by the rise of AI in therapy. So mental health providers out there are in flight or fight about AI. Let me tell you, there is a lot of concern out there for will we even exist as a job? Will we be replaced? So just like many other industries, we are worried about that too. And something to take into consideration is most mental health providers go into huge debt in order to have that credential after our name. We go to graduate school, we complete thousands of hours to be credentialed. We take tests, exams every year. We have to do continuing education units, which cost money and take time just to make sure we're doing the right thing for our clients. And we have overhead. There may be a whole other conversation, a different episode for providers, but it is hard for us. It is hard for us. And reimbursement rates. So people might think, well, like, you can bill insurance, you can make a lot of money. The fact is, we know the whole health system is broken with insurance in the United States. And actually, our reimbursement rates haven't changed significantly in decades. So it hasn't caught up to inflation. So it is tough out there, even if you're accepting private insurance. And you could do private pay, but that is a challenge also, right? Because it has its own unique challenges. We'll say that. And again, maybe this needs to be its own separate episode. But this fear for mental health professionals is very real. And I think there's an opportunity, though, for therapists to become empowered by AI when we come together. Now, AI, when it's marketed as cost effective, as an alternative to therapy by these platforms, you have to remember some of these platforms have like millions of dollars to support their marketing. Most mental health providers that you see do not have millions of dollars. I don't want to speak for everybody, but I know for myself, and I think most providers out there, we are trying to figure out how to market on a budget because we're spending our money on continuing education and other things that enhance the experience for our clients, right? Whether it's a telehealth platform, our office space, an additional certification or training to help a client just really break through barriers and meet their goals. So the job displacement fear is real. So when you support your mental health provider, when you choose a mental health provider, a human one, and it's their private practice, let's say they're a solo practitioner, you're really empowering small business. We forget, ultimately they're a small business, and so if supporting small businesses is important to you, I encourage you to support a small mental health business and support your mental health providers if you're seeking mental health support. Okay, enough of that. Number two, ethical dilemmas exist in AI assisted care. So some providers are being asked to integrate AI into their practice. Sometimes it happens slowly, like through maybe like a software they're using to keep track of notes for their clients. Um, Sometimes it happens when maybe sessions are being like listened to through certain like integrations and being transcribed so it can be turned into notes easily. There are different things going on with AI, but without clear guidelines on its ethical use, they may be at risk of liability. And mental health providers already carry liability insurance, and it's just something that we can have concerns about, right? We are concerned about our clients' um, confidentiality. And there are many HIPAA compliant AI platforms, but still something to think about. So if you have a mental health provider who is old school and they have a piece of paper and they're writing their notes on a piece of paper and they're filing their notes in like a folder, just know that it doesn't mean they're like too old school and not innovative and won't know the latest and greatest techniques to support your mental health. Just know that actually a lot of mental health providers are turning to that in an effort to really protect their clients and to protect their own liability and to do the most ethically responsible thing that also supports our mental health industry. So, just a little for clients listening out there, just know that there's a shift into that, right? So, just like there's a shift into kind of going back to old school simple times of making your own sourdough, of like homesteading, keeping things simple, there's also a shift in that in our field. And a third topic I wanted to talk about in terms of the impact of AI on mental health providers is the need for a community driven response. So instead of resisting AI entirely, because I don't think that's the answer, like AI is here, whether we like it or not. Providers must stay informed. I want to advocate that we as mental health providers advocate for ethical implementation. And I would love to invite all mental health providers to help shape how AI is used in mental health care. So this next section is going to be a little bit about for providers specifically. So if you're a regular listener who wants to know a little bit more of an insider's view on providers, just keep on listening. If not, I appreciate you listening and taking into consideration these things. I think it's important as a consumer of mental health support systems to know these things, to know what's happening in our industry, to know that there are big shifts because it directly impacts your care. So I'm going to encourage you to listen, but just know that behind the scenes, there are a lot of mental health providers trying to figure out how we can best serve you through this shift. So, why independent providers and clients need a supportive community? As we continue to see AI expand in mental health, it's more important than ever for both clients and providers to have a space where they can navigate these changes together. Platforms like Latin therapy and Latinx therapy, and Liberatory Wellness Network. Alex, let me double check that that's correct. Let me see here. Hold on. Okay. Alex, you might want to take out the whole thing about don't listen if you don't want to. So anyway, you can take all that out if you want. So, okay. Why independent providers and clients need a supportive community is my last little segment here on this topic. As we continue to see AI expand in mental health, it's more important than ever for both clients and providers to have a space where they can navigate these changes together. I want to share about some platforms like TeleWellness Hub, but also the Liberatory Wellness Network, Therapy Den. I'm using my phone right now to make sure I have Latinx Therapy Network, therapist networks. These platforms are designed to support independent providers and ensure that clients have access to ethical, human first care. I will share a list of some platforms that I know are specific to supporting independent providers and human first care in the show notes. So take a look there if you're looking to join one of these directories or seek a provider through there. So for clients, it's really essential to find real licensed professionals who can provide personalized and confidential support. In my opinion, rather than relying solely on AI-driven tools. I think there's a great space for AI-driven tools to support the work. And I've even had clients, talk about what they entered into ChatGPT for journaling topic ideas, and we talk about it in session together. We can talk about the tools of AI and utilize those tools as a resource for our sessions. So I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying it's something to really think critically about. And I think something that you can bring and navigate with a therapist in a perfect world. I realize, like I said earlier, that our health system in the United States is facing a lot of challenges. So I understand that sometimes that's not an option. And that's also why TeleWellness Hub is hoping to break those barriers and there's those challenges to access by providing clients with providers who also have resources available, whether it's books, digital downloads, podcast episodes, channel videos, YouTube videos. So yeah, there are a lot of people out there who want to make mental health accessible. And I think for some, I understand that an AI chatbot might be the best option at the time on your way to find the ideal provider. For providers, having a professional network is key to staying ahead of industry shifts, advocating for ethical care, and ensuring that independent providers have a strong voice in the future of mental health services. I want to talk about one network, the National Alliance of Mental Health Professionals, an incredible platform that I have recently joined that I love and is let's see how many people are in this group. Over 8,000 people. And it's just people having a dialogue about AI, about big tech corporations and venture capitalists taking over our space. So just something to think about for providers. Maybe take a look at some of these organizations or even locally see who's talking about this and joining in. At TeleWellness Hub, I will say we're creating a space, a digital space, a community where providers can really examine AI and other emerging industry trends together, along with our amazing technology team. And my goal is to have your voice help shape the future of TeleWellness Hub and help make decisions when it comes to AI with our directory and platform, so that we can have an ethical, human-driven, and effective mental health solution for providers and clients alike. So I welcome everyone to join the conversation, shape the future of mental health together. Before I wrap up, I just want to take a moment to thank everyone who has been listening, who has provided feedback since the day I on TeleWellness Hub, the platform, telewellnesshub.com, since I first launched on a WordPress site and then, made updates and changes in the launch. And especially with our previous launch, I was so excited about it, and it was amazing to see the feedback and the signups. And I got some really great insights that have helped shape and refine a platform that truly serves providers and clients in a more meaningful way. So I am so thankful for everyone who's taken the time to give feedback, because that is so helpful for shaping the future of mental health, not just TeleWellness Hub, but for mental health. We're currently rebuilding, finalizing our custom web application. Our goal is to ensure that independent providers have a space where they can offer their expertise, connect with others in the field, and truly make an impact, offer their therapy services, their workshops, showcase their media content, their products for sale, and really offer clients the opportunity to do wellness, mental health wellness their way. So getting help isn't always like scheduling an appointment right away, right? It's navigating who are some experts in the field. And TeleWellness Hub is here to highlight the experts in this field, which are human independent providers. So if you're a provider and you're looking for a community that values ethical, client first care without the burnout, I invite you to stay connected. Please share your thoughts, be a part of this evolving conversation. We're building a channel within TeleWellness Hub for all providers to share their thoughts, to vote on features, to help shape the directory itself so that it's ours as a collective. I'm a big believer that together we can really create a difference and a huge impact. So if you're a provider or a client who wants to better understand the role of AI in mental health and ensure that real human first care remains a priority, please subscribe to this podcast and join our growing community. Let's work together to navigate these shifts and ensure that technology supports rather than replaces real mental health care. I'm going to have more topics on this in the future. I'm going to be inviting some experts in this field in AI and research and media specialists, technology specialists, community specialists. So please subscribe. Stay tuned because there's some good stuff coming. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.